Last series of the day here, and it is a big one. It is Method NA versus OTK.
Yeah, it does. I was thinking about that, actually. Every time you said it. All right. This one, I think this is an interesting matchup because OTK in the past hasn't done too bad in these mirrors. They've actually kind of gone, I feel like more recently, they've kind of gone toe-to-toe with Method NA.
Yeah, we'll see if they're able to do it. It's kind of strange because I wonder what these teams were expecting here in the blind. You know, typically we see Mage Warrior play better into Mage Windwalker, but both these teams going to be leading with that Mage Windwalker, and it's going to be a full-on mirror here, full Paralyze onto Cdew, full Sheep onto Trill, Ring of Frost onto Cdew as well. Samiyam, though, with the Alter Time, blinks away. He's going to be able to port back here, and he's going to have full HP. Excellent defense here coming out from the boy Sam, and now they got a Hammer of Justice there onto Cdew. It's pretty hard though, and now Cdew could be looking to get some CC here onto Brain. He has his Hammer of Justice. Drake's in a polymorph. Sam is connecting here onto Ceralium. There it is, Blinding Light by Cdew. Ceralium trinkets, uses all the time. He's taking a lot of damage here. Samiyam gets the polymorph onto Brain here as well. Beautiful push, but Ceralium, look at him. He's in dinosaur mode on the opposite end of the map. Sam looking for CC here, but he's getting soloed by Drake. So much damage here on both sides, but it looks like OTK actually pull ahead here. They do get Ceralium's trinket.
The health bars are moving so fast. Sam actually hit 1% health amidst all the chaos as well. It's back and forth. Cdew trading sacrifice, redirecting damage to himself, but it's overwhelming him. Look at Cdew just dying to the sacrifice, barely recovering in time. Zwen is still up for Drake. Samiyam could be in trouble as a result. Dragon's Breath going to hit it, but now Ceralium on the back foot. This game is explosive at number one between OTK and Method NA. OTK really cannot afford any losses in this circuit stage with where they're currently placed. They need to have some good performances if they want to make it into that top four, and right now it's a bit of a struggle as Sam is hovering at 30% health. Blessing of Protection comes through from Cdew, trying to stabilize. Trill counter-pressuring Ceralium. Polymorphs over onto Drake. Cdew and Brain both close to each other. Hammer is available for both sides. Who's going to get the upper hand when these Hammers of Justice are available? And Brain's moving in. He gets it on Cdew. This could be devastating. Ceralium follows up with the Ring of Frost. Sam trying to defensively Ring of Frost and avoid Drake. Drake navigates around it. Sam going to soul shape. Drake in hot pursuit, rooting up Samiyam to try and reconnect. Cdew is still crowd controlled. Let's see if they can get a kill. Sam going to use mirror images. Ceralium is blasting him. Cdew finally, no, the Ring of Peace bounces him for a second out of line of sight. That could have been devastating, but Cdew was ready. Big heals. Now Cdew is chasing Brain, trying to get his Hammer of Justice, or Blinding Light, actually, at this point. Big crowd control onto two players by Cdew, trying to go after Drake. It looks like maybe a swap, or maybe not. Stinging on Ceralium. Not enough damage to find it. Mana even at this point, which is surprising.
Yeah, I mean, both these monks are now playing Serenity as well, so when that cooldown is active, they are going to do absolutely incredible amounts of damage. So look out for it. Drake uses his Serenity, gets polymorphed. Nicely done there by Samiyam. Look at Drake. This is the saddest moment you could have as a Windwalker monk. Use Serenity and don't get to do a single global with it. Finally reconnecting. It's going to be a big Rising Sun kick on Samiyam, but Samiyam diffused that situation perfectly. Trill has his cooldowns ready to go, and OTK is looking primed to get some aggression. Double Dragon's Breath coming in from Ceralium. Good control. He's got the combustion as well. If they can get a stun on Sam, fortunately doesn't have the leg sweep available. Ceralium on the back foot. Trill getting lots of pressure here with his Serenity. Mana even for both these Paladins as both these teams go back and forth.
Yeah, and we're going to see both these teams starting to drop low on mana here, 40 or 30 or so percent. But Samiyam right now, combustion from Ceralium. He's caught up in the leg sweep. Cdew now getting swapped to here actually with that preemptive sacrifice. And he's just going to go down without using the divine shield right there. He reads the situation so well. Preemptive sacrifice there onto Samiyam. But Ceralium just tab targets to Cdew instead in the Hammer of Justice with that sacrifice damage plus the combustion damage. It just becomes overwhelming, and it catches Cdew a little bit off guard there at the end.
Well, Method NA still look pretty solid, I would say, overall.
Yeah.
I do wonder what comp Method NA were expecting. I think they were expecting a melee cleave, so they wanted the Windwalker variant of their Mage Paladin setup, and then Cdew's team OTK just ran in with the same comp. This was insane damage though on Cdew in this game.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see it here again. So right now, both mages, this is where Trill is popping his Serenity, getting a decent amount of pressure. He gets Nova'd on it. He's Ceralium trying to fake cast him and try to get some sheeps on him. He's using that Ring of Peace, just buying himself a little bit of uptime. Finally, they get the sheep onto Trill. And now here comes the setup. Samiyam in a leg sweep. Cdew realizing Brain is walking towards him. There's the preemptive sacrifice. And look at Cdew. He's still in line of sight of Ceralium. And Ceralium, of course, also standing in his rune of power right there. So he didn't even need to move out of the rune to continue hitting Cdew. So he just had maximum DPS. Of course, as well with that sacrifice dot, redirecting damage that Drake did to Samiyam. It's just too much there for Cdew. He needs to tread out his Divine Shield. But even if he did, it honestly didn't look that good for OTK.
Okay, well, Method NA already up 1-0 right now in this series against OTK. If you look at the match record between these two teams, Method NA are 4-0 versus OTK. So when Cdew tweeted last night at 3 a.m. or whenever it was in the middle of the night, when he was clearly very stressed out and he said, we need a miracle for Method NA, he was not kidding. This is going to be a difficult series for these guys, for OTK. They're already down one game right now, but we have seen this team in this position before many, many times, and they've pulled out with a victory, so it's certainly something they can still do. Definitely don't want to count these guys out just yet. I feel like these guys, OTK, has a lot up their sleeve that they could still pull out here against Method NA.
Are we seeing
Is
mirrors
that
the whole way?
I think we're going to see Trill. I don't know if they have any tricks. I feel like the only trick we're going to see is mirror, and that's not even really that tricky for Method NA, I don't think. So, I mean,
I guess
honestly,
options would be a better word.
Yeah,
But even
well, I don't even know if they have any options. No tricks, no options. It's
all
just,
right, I'm just trying to give the people hope, Ben.
There is hope. They can win a mirror. It's not impossible. I mean, Method NA is really, really strong, but I don't know. I feel like Sam, Cdew, Trill. I mean, Cdew greeted it out a little bit at the end. Didn't want to. I mean, if he had his Gladiator's emblem, he was probably just mashing that. Like, oh, I don't want to trinket. I don't want to bubble. But if I get the emblem off, I'm going to be completely fine. I mean, I'm sure he's been in that situation before. He really did die at like the last like half second of that Hammer of Justice. So, bit of a misread. Sometimes that happens. But seriously, it was pretty back and forth matchup. I would say it didn't seem super one-sided. They still had the cooldowns to trade. I feel like OTK, they have a fair shot in this mirror match, and I'm curious to see if we do see the mirror match. My big problem is for Method NA winning the blind pick, I feel like now they always have the option on every second map going to Warrior Mage if they want to, so they can switch over to the Warrior Mage Paladin to kind of counter the Windwalker Mage Paladin on every second map. So if they ever lose, they always have that as an option, but so far Method NA in this round robin is 10-0. They haven't dropped a single map to anybody. So they're looking for their four straight series. They have not lost a single map yet. So I mean, they're on fire.
Imagine getting a perfect score.
Yeah.
They've lost like
I feel like
they've lost games, but go ahead.
It's funny because I feel like if Method NA they go 7-0 and they 21-0. People will still be like, I don't know, they lost Cup 4, like.
They only got second place.
They
only got second
in Cup
man.
4. That's just Method NA. Literally, like, what is their record? They won last year. Did they beat Cloud9 in the finals? I think they beat Cloud9 in the finals. So they won last year, and then they won Cup 1. They won Cup 2. They won Cup 3. They got second in Cup 4. Now they're 10-0 so far, 3-0 in terms of series. I feel like they are pretty dominant at this point.
Yeah.
OTK, this is definitely going to be a tall order, but we'll see. They're going to have to rise to the occasion if they want to win this one.
They certainly will. OTK looking to tie this one up in game number 2 on Ash Remains.
Yeah, we're going to see maybe Windwalker Mage mirrors all the way through here. I feel like this is a pretty good situation for OTK. This is a matchup that I feel like they're comfortable with. So the best case scenario for them, I think, is to keep doing these Windwalker Mage mirrors. They get a sheep onto Brain. Here comes the leg sweep onto Trill, actually. Samiyam getting a blessing of protection from Cdew to free him out of that. So they do land CC Chain onto Brain, but Ceralium just doing a great job kiting, not giving out a single defensive cooldown there. And he's going to be sitting through that leg sweep there nice and pretty. Doesn't have to use anything to break out of it. Now Cdew in a Ring of Frost. Big damage potential here. They got a sheep onto Trill, but Drake having a little bit of trouble connecting back onto Samiyam. Both of these mages so far doing an excellent job just using this map and kiting these Windwalkers, but now Drake finally connecting here with big damage. Samiyam takes a massive hit. He's
on fire!
He's burning down. But I think Cdew is going to be able to stabilize him there. Nice opener so far for Method and A.
This is stressful for OTK in game number 2. Already down a very significant cooldown. And this type of matchup, the Paladins have been ooming. It hasn't really been going into deep dampening. So I don't know if Samiyam will even see another Cauterize. Ceralium stunned up, Brain in a Paralyze. OTK trying to go for standard strategies here. But it may not be enough. A full Polymorph. Sam's in trouble. Will he be able to avoid it? Ceralium getting counter pressure. Trill is trying to carry at the moment with just damage. Is he going to be able to do enough damage to Ceralium? He did at least scare them away and prevent them from pushing on Sam. So it was really good by Trill using counter aggression and offense to actually push his opponents away during Samiyam's time of need.
Yeah, right now both mages just going to be exchanging fireballs, looking to reset that combustion. Samiyam, he doesn't have a trinket, so this next leg sweep coming in from Drake in about 28 seconds is going to be devastating. Cdew's going to have to instantly trade out a Blessing of Protection. If they get cross crowd control, it could be something where we see OTK just kind of explode. So look out for that moment, that next stun onto Sam. Ceralium pulling away, kind of bait Trill behind the pillar. Big Rising Sun Kick. Ceralium dangerously low, but gets control with a Dragon's Breath Polymorph on Trill. Hammer of Justice now onto Cdew. Where's the stun on Sam? Still not available for just a few more seconds. Zwen is out. Can they get it? Sacrifice trades from Cdew. He's in a blinding light. Maybe they go for a Hammer of Justice play. Do they have it? No. Unfortunately, they do not have it for Cdew. A Polymorph comes in. Samiyam getting incredibly low. He could just get seated. No, it's a nice block. And right now, I would say Method NA, they are in the driver's seat. They have got, look at the cooldowns. I mean, Brain hasn't used anything. Ceralium hasn't used anything. Sam has nothing. Cdew has nothing. This game is just Method NA all the way.
Yeah, I'm getting some flashbacks here to our earlier series there with Cloud9, but right now, I don't know. The next CC chain probably going to be the Divine Shield of Cdew. Samiyam has his combustion. He really needs to make this one count here. Needs to get some good value out of that one. Is he going to pull the trigger? Ceralium's counterspell. Not going to go for it right now. Samiyam getting paralyzed there on his sheep attempt. And look at Trill now doing so much damage here to Ceralium. Ceralium getting a Blessing of Protection. Cdew as well trading out a Blessing of Protection. Both of these mages here trying to land a crowd control, trying to get an edge in the matchup, trying to survive these Windwalkers, but it's Trill with the Zwen here trying to build up the momentum the most. There we go, counterspell secured. Big damage here onto Ceralium with that combustion. Brain, how are you going to power through this one? Big healing coming out from Brain, but I don't think he has much more to work with. Now they're counter pressuring Samiyam here. Nice damage onto him. Cdew forced to use his Divine Shield right there as well. Brain now trading out his sacrifice. Brain's just going to be powering out Holy Lights here, trying to keep himself as well as Ceralium alive. And that's going to be the last cooldown remaining for OTK. The next setup could very well be the KO, Sid.
Yeah, let's see if they can keep it up. Brain mana not in a good position, though. They need to end this game pretty much right now, although they have everything available to do it. Let's see if they can. Serenity pop Cdew in a stun. This could be it. Huge damage onto Samiyam. How on earth is he going to survive a full leg sweep? He breaks out, but they absolutely smack him. And they're cracking that seed here in a second, I think, unless Cdew can power through. Cdew actually going to keep the seed alive. No, almost, though. The sacrifice just coming off cooldown. They did at least run Method NA out of mana. They're trying their best to put up a fight, but Method NA certainly came to play.
I mean, they really did. We're going to see it at the end. The level of precision on their setups, it really is beautiful to see. I mean, I'm sure Zico will call it out, but it's just, at the moment they can get crowd control onto Trill, all three members just push in, they get crowd control, they get burst, and they just isolate Samiyam. He's all alone. There's really not too much he can do, and I just feel like that's Method NA's strength. They're just so precise with their crowd control and their setups. It really is beautiful to watch.
It certainly is. I hope this team, continues with their success here, and I feel like this is one of these teams that is going to be around for a very, very long time, like Cloud9, like Skillcapped, like Method EU, and I hope they are here to stay because it is so cool to see games like this one right here.
So look at Ceralium. He's just Dragon's Breath, Trill, out of line of sight, full sheep. Brain, gonna get a Hammer of Justice. Human Racial, Hammer of Justice on Cdew, Human Racial, blind on his trinket. Ceralium can't even make it there because Trill is slowing him down, because Trill triggered that polymorph as well behind the pillar, but it doesn't matter. They get the blinding light, they get the CC that they needed there onto Cdew's trinket, and there's no cooldowns left. They're so ahead in the match, so all they need to do really is just push in and execute, and they're able to do that. Drake has the damage there to finish off the game, and all of a sudden, 2-0 right now for Method NA, looking to take O3K out.
Oh.
Ooh, oof.
Ooh.
Jeez,
Ah.
that's rough.
That is.
Ugh.
All right.
I'm more
Dang.
focusing on 11-0. 11-0.
Yeah, that's huge.
That
Let's
is
see
huge.
how long
Let's
the
focus on
streak
the
can continue,
W's,
yeah.
not the L's.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, FNA, who's going to beat them right now?
Perfect
There was like a
record all the
moment.
way to qualify.
There was a moment where it seemed like they weren't going to play Windwalker anymore. I think there was like some bugs with Windwalker Monk damage, or they made some adjustments. I don't know. There's a few things that happened to Windwalker Monks, but their damage ended up getting tuned again, and now they seem pretty good. I mean, so the damage that they're able to put out, quite explosive. I mean, we saw Wazan as Windwalker Monk as well, putting out tons of pressure onto Shadow Freeze, onto Mages earlier today, and that's good news for Method NA for sure. As this has kind of been their main composition for a while now.
Yeah, and we just can't. They're so good on it too. We try it. We see other teams try and adapt it as well, but they just aren't able to implement it quite like Method NA does. They just look so comfortable on it, so clean on it, and it just no one's really been able to best them on this composition just yet. It's very reminiscent of Cloud9 with that Mage Lock and how unstoppable those guys were, and it's almost like now we have another like team that has been crowned unstoppable on a certain composition, and that is Method NA on this composition. It just seems like they came out of nowhere last year and they have been unstoppable ever since, and we're going to see them potentially prove that once again in game number 3.
I kind of want them to just perfect the circuit, just never lose a single game. Never lose a single game. Perfect circuit. You literally just perfected the entire region. Didn't drop a single game to the entire region. I mean,
that
Method
would be-
NA, they still got it. They could still do it. That's pretty impressive.
That would be huge for them, because if you are just tuning in and you don't quite understand the format of this, basically it is round robin, it's the circuit, so these guys, Method NA and OTK, have to face every single team within their region, and as of right now, they haven't dropped a single game, and they might be able to do this here in game number 3 once again. So Sid's absolutely right. If they made it to the end of these 4 cups in the circuit, they would be... That's got to be like one of the best records ever, because I don't even think like Cloud9 when they were like the reigning champions had that good of a record in the circuit in BFA. But
I mean, I don't think so. Has it? I mean, I don't really remember a time in the circuit, because I mean, you have to remember as well. It's not like this is a regular tournament. Method NA, they're playing against the 7 other best teams in North America, right? So
yeah,
they're playing against all the
Maybe,
best teams in a series. Also, you have to. What's more impressive about it is the format also basically forces you to play on maps that aren't advantageous and against compositions that aren't advantageous. So, I mean, they're 3-0ing, which means game number 2 and game number 3, it's at their disadvantage in terms of map and composition pick, and they still are winning every game. So, pretty good.
You'd have to ask Alex or ask Sodes, but I feel like, was it 2014 when he played with Talbadar and Chanimal and they played Lockshaman and Druid? I feel like they might have won every single game at that BlizzCon
I think they
and not
did,
lost.
yeah.
That's the only time I can think of where
You should
a
message
team literally never lost at a main event.
him. Okay, well,
Yeah, that was with Chanimal and Talbot.
Yeah. I feel like they didn't lose a single game. That's the only thing that's popping into my mind where I can think of that someone never lost.
either way, I feel like it's definitely safe to say that this team, Method NA, has been like the most dominating team in a while for this region.
Most
but
recent and current.
I have this awesome quote from another player, Magnus, here. He said on Twitter, I asked everybody on Twitter, what's your favorite player in the AWC and why? And he said Drake. He doesn't talk, doesn't treat anyone poorly, just shows up and blinks on everyone consistently and never says a word about it. And I think that is so true. That's what he's doing.
I was going to say that.
Right here.
I was going to say that quote might need some,
That's okay.
Blanking, sure.
I censored it. But I mean, that's indicative of this entire team. I mean, they're just so dominating, like we've already been discussing here, and we're seeing a mirror once again in game number 3.
I think that's just one of the things about Method NA, right? Is they kind of just keep to themselves. Like they just show up, they win, and more often than not, almost always they win. And I never see them trash talking. It's just they let the results speak for themselves. They put in the work, and this team is really, really dominant. I mean, I really just want to focus on that. I mean, 11-0. This could be 12-0 for them. Basically, the potential to perfect the circuit. Who's going to be able to stop them? We'll definitely have to see. OTK, they're going to try for it once again. Game number 1 really didn't look too bad in the mirror match. Game number 2, I would say, was significantly worse. Method NA either heating up or OTK dropping the ball a little bit, but they're going to have to really focus up, shake off that game number 2, focus on their setups. OTK just needs to play their own game, focus on the setups that they can put out, and not allow Method NA to just bait them into these bad positions and kind of isolate Samiyam. They have to try to beat them at their own game.
Most certainly. So definitely keep an eye on this team right here. They could maybe put this win on the board here on OTK. It's going to be very, very, very difficult for them. If you look at it just from a numbers standpoint, Method NA has an incredibly good record right now. Perfect score at the moment in Shadowlands. So let's see if they can continue that streak, or is OTK going to take one away?
All right. Well, like we said, we want to see OTK kind of rise to the occasion here. They're going to have to strike back. Method NA looking for absolute perfection, absolute domination. And look at Drake just looking calm, cool, collected. Cdew, I mean, you could tell the tension's on. I mean, OTK, have they? I don't think they've won yet. They haven't won a series so far in the circuit. So I feel like if they lose this, they're in a really rough spot to making that top 4. There was a ton on the line. They have to battle it back. They have to reverse sweep. And if they don't, their future is really uncertain here.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? We're seeing a lot of these top dogs struggle here in the round robin, but it's still a little bit early to say. There's still definitely a lot of hope here for OTK. And I mean, they could still bring it back in these mirrors here, but it's a tall order. They have the matchup. They have the individual skill on their players. They just need to play well as a team here. Can they do it? They get a big opener here, actually getting Ceralium's trinket and getting Brain's sacrifice there. Nice damage coming out from Samiyam. Ceralium still dangerously low here, but a nice alter time is going to allow him to get back to full HP right there. So OTK gets the first cooldown here. They strike first.
All right, let's see if they can keep the momentum off of that. Sam interrupted here. Drake staying on target. Sam very far away from the fight, and Cdew is playing far away from Brain. I would imagine OTK are playing more cautiously here on match point. They don't want to take a huge risk here and potentially go down 0-3 in the circuit so far. It would definitely be stressful for them for overall trying to qualify to that top 4 spot. And Cdew looks like he's trying to slip around the corner, gets caught in a Dragon's Breath. That could be devastating. An Aura Mastery Polymorph. They're trying to go for the Cauterize here. Drake staying on target. Sam alters back, trying to avoid Drake. Drake trying to connect. Sam blinks once again, but Cdew still in Polymorph, connecting that Trinket Sacrifice just before the Hammer of Justice, but that's a swap to Cdew. He cannot afford to die without shielding if he needs to here. They protect him effectively. Cdew will be able to stabilize. He's now trying to chase down Brain. Brain gets out of there like, nope. I'm not opening up myself to crowd control. Cdew can't really catch up to him. He's trying to at the moment. Will Cdew be able to catch Brain? It's ring around the rosy between these two paladins. Sam catches Brain with a polymorph, but then they get intercepted in a double leg sweep. Cdew going to trade a Blessing of Protection to counteract that Zwen. I think it's a fair trade. It's a fair trade, but Ceralium is just running laps away from Trill at the moment, and it's kind of the name of the game is both mages trying to avoid the Windwalkers, and they're both sitting in polymorph at the moment.
Yeah, they certainly are. Ceralium literally mounting up. Brain sitting down for a drink. Method NA's on vacation right now. Trill mounting up as well, trying to get back to target. Blinding Light came in from Cdew, not using it for crowd control. He actually defended himself from a polymorph with that Blinding Light. Not ideal, but they get the setup here. Brain into a Ring of Frost. Ceralium on the back foot. Can they get any cooldowns? They need to get a Cauterize. They need to get an Ice Block, and I don't know if they're going to be able to. Now Drake all over Sam, trying to reverse the pressure, but OTK, they've definitely been holding their own. This one could come down to mana, though, and I feel like Method NA kind of realizing that. A huge hit on Ceralium. Sacrifice trades. I was saying Method NA kind of realizing this could come down to mana. Look at Brain. He has a huge lead over Cdew.
Yeah, and that's because he sat down and drank. And I just gotta say, Ceralium's been doing such a good job this game kiting, and now he's getting the crowd control, full ring of frost onto Cdew. They need to get a sheep or something onto Trill. He's just spamming out the Vivifies, big damage onto Samiyam. Brain is there now for the follow-up blinding light. There's the Dragon's Breath onto Trill, sheep onto Cdew out of the blinding light. You have the damage. Drake is in that Serenity, but he gets crowd controlled on it, trying to reconnect to the target. He wants to press that Rising Sun kick and that Fist of Fury so bad, but now he's gonna get caught up in that leg sweep there by a Trill, and that's going to be a blessing of protection there, being traded out onto Ceralium. Brain now in a crowd control, and look at Cdew, he's sitting down for a drink here on that same pillar, trying to equalize that mana disadvantage. Ceralium now moving in, trying to sheep Cdew here, but Cdew ducking around the corner, still able to dodge it. Big damage here onto Samiyam. Klepto comes out there on the combustion of Ceralium, so not a whole lot of value there, but there was decent pressure coming out there from Ceralium. And like you guys already mentioned, this is a much more even game. Method and A, I mean, they have the 11-0 streak right now, but this could be OTK actually taking one.
Can OTK break the streak? Method NA look to perfect the North American region. They have not dropped a game yet so far in circuit play. This is OTK's last chance. If they lose here, it's looking grim for their qualifications. They need to break that streak. They need to keep their dreams alive. And at the moment, they've been putting up a fight. They've got Ceralium taking some damage. Cdew's chasing down Brain. Blinding Light. Double crowd control. Triple crowd control. Beautiful setup here by OTK. Ceralium trying to avoid the engagement. Kiting away from Trill and waiting for Brain to get out of Polymorph. Popping those mirror images. Trying to reduce damage. Polymorphing Trill. Good defense by Ceralium. Stalling and buying time. Brain's now out. And should be able to stabilize. He gets an Awakening proc. That's perfect timing for Brain. He's going to heal the whole team back full. Now Sam in trouble on the run, potentially burning down in that Cauterize as a full polymorph has been secured. How are they going to respond here? Is it going to be a caught block? What are they going to trade? They need to make a trade. Cdew is going to use Divine Shield and Sacrifice, valuing the mage cooldowns. Now Sam tries to turn it around, but Brain is just healing through this pressure with Avenging Wrath, even though Ceralium's dipping low here. Divine Favor should stabilize Ceralium. Big heal comes in. Mana slightly in favor of Cdew, but their cooldowns are starting to become limited. They could even swap to Cdew. Brain's charging in. Sam's still the target for now. Drake Flying Serpent kicks over. Ceralium baiting Trill really far away from Cdew, likely for a Dragon's Breath sheep here. He alters back to full health. Beautiful positioning by Ceralium here. Dragon's Breath over onto Trill. Brain in a Hammer of Justice. Ceralium could be in trouble. No mirror images, no alter time. Can they stay on target? Trill's just pounding away with that spinning crane kick, stunning up Brain for a moment to try and catch him with the Ring of Frost. Not able to find the catch. Ceralium's taking a ton of damage. Brain goes for Divine Favor, gets caught on a Polymorph. Good opportunity for OTK here to get a cooldown. Which cooldown is Method NA going to trade? If they don't get a cooldown here, that's devastating. Ring of Frost for follow-up. Sam's actually on the back foot. Despite all the crowd control of OTK, Sam is now the one who could be in trouble.
Nice double blinding light from Brain. Cdew gets caught to a Hammer of Justice on his trinket, and Samiyam, this could be the Cauterize, but he does manage to hold on. The damage just isn't there. Samiyam gets control of Drake, but still, this is the Zwen. Samiyam cannot be feeling stable. Cdew's going to have to heal him. Big damage incoming. Trill at the same time trying to reverse the pressure here onto Ceralium. Need crowd control on the Paladins, but Cdew has no break. Samiyam on the run. Big spinning crane kick onto Sam. Gets taken down and topped off. His health looking like a yo-yo. Hammer of Justice now onto Ceralium as he is trying to escape. He needs to be very careful. Brain has the trinket, or he has the Divine Shield sacrifice if he needs it. I can't believe they didn't get the Cauterize. A bit unlucky there. Ceralium dips down to literally 1% health. Now Sam forced to run. He's hit a leg sweep. That is the Ice Block. Luckily, it wasn't the Cauterize and the Ice Block, so still a little bit of defense, but I would say OTK is on the back foot heavily.
Yeah, but the one thing that they have in their favor is that mana of Brain. If Brain is trying to sneak away for a drink, but too much pressure right now. Ceralium, big damage coming out from Trill with that Serenity, with that Zwen the Tiger as well. Now the root on Zwen is going to end, and Ceralium could be in a lot of trouble here. Big heal there from Brain with that Divine Favor. Nice crowd control here onto Trill. No dispels available. Drake is all over Samiyam here as well. Both of these Windwalkers, it's going to come down to who gets more uptime here. Ceralium now caught up in a beautiful leg sweep. That's got to be the Ice Block. He procs the Cauterize.
Caught and blocked.
it's overlapped there with the ice block. So now it's not looking too good here for Method NA. Finally, OTK find themselves in a situation where they might actually be able to get a win here, but CD's in favor of Method NA. They need to end the game right now. Full polymorph, nothing left for Samiyam. They only have the cauterize to rely on. Samiyam trinkets the leg sweep here. They get another polymorph up to Cdew. Do they have any more crowd control? It doesn't look like it. Cdew now going to come out of that crowd control. He gets the avenging proc, and he gets a big heal onto Samiyam. Brain completely tapped on mana, and I think this game might actually be going for OTK here, Sid.
The perfect streak could be broken right here. No mana left on Brain. Trill is going to town with that Fist of Fury on Ceralium. Blazing Barrier comes in. He's trying to stabilize. Cdew's almost out of mana as well. This could be a cross kill. Potentially both mages going down, and we go into a 2 versus 2. Right. There's nothing left in the tank here. Brain is sitting down for a drink. How much mana will Brain get? Brain gets 1 tick. That might be more than enough to keep healing, but now he's in a leg sweep. Where's the divine shield? Just break out of the crowd control. They're going to proc the seed. They're looking to break this streak. Can OTK do it? They've done it. They've broken the streak. Putting a point on the board here, but they need to win 2 more.
Wow, OTK, they strike back. What a game that was. And I mean, they just had to believe in themselves and really step up. I mean, backs against the wall. They battle it back. They give Method NA their first loss. No perfection for them, but I mean, the game really does not get closer than that. But seriously, you have to give it up to OTK. Beating Method NA at their own game, at least for 1 game. But this is the scary thing, is Method NA, they now have the option of map as well as composition pick. And if they wanted to, they could switch over to the Warrior. We'll have to see what they decide to do. But here are the last few moments of the game.
At this point, just look at Brain's mana. He has cooldowns, but he doesn't have any mana to use with those cooldowns. So here, Samiyam just getting a lot of damage out onto Ceralium. Both of these mages just trying to buy themselves some time. Samiyam in alter time right now, just line of sighting. He's going to go back there. And Drake here trying to get uptime, gets Dragon's Breath into the sheep. Samiyam just trying to survive this Zwen assault. And there is Trill with the leg sweep. Blessing of Protection there by Brain. Comes out a little bit too late there, unfortunately. I don't know if Brain could have Blessing of Protected himself maybe there out of the stun and then went for a heal. I'm really not sure how he could have saved his mage, or if it was even possible to save his mage in that situation. But what an excellent game here by OTK, really going pound for pound here with Method NA at their own comp, and they're able to take this one.
I mean, this is incredible. You know, even if they do end up losing this series, that is an incredible feat for these guys. OTK were able to beat their streak, and I think it was Ven that said it, beat them at their own game here, facing them in a mirror, winning that match, and that was an incredible last game from OTK. Let's see what they can do moving into this next one and see if they can win here on Method NA's map choice. But like we've already highlighted, that is going to be very, very difficult for these guys. So it's kind of the question now is, do we see Method NA sticking with this composition, or do we expect them to bring out that Warrior or maybe something else?
Oh, I kind of wonder if it's going to be a pride thing at this point. If Method NA, they just want to say, hey, you're not beating us at our comp, this is our comp.
Maybe.
And they want to just like I mean, it is possible. What do we think is better? I mean, Method NA, they played a lot of Warrior, Mage, Paladin as well. So I guess the question really is, how do they feel? We're going to a small map.
Oh, they definitely could.
On this map, they definitely, they could switch it up. OTK, are they going to have the confidence to lock in the Windwalker, Mage, Paladin? I feel like they have to, almost.
Yeah, I think they have to.
They do. I want to see it. Why do you guys say that they have to?
Because what else are they going to play? If they play a melee cleave, I mean, the map is good for it, but I don't see them winning into Method NA if they're playing their melee cleave. So their other option is Windwalker Mage. And I mean, they could lock it in and play another mirror, which I think is their best, highest percentage chance to win. But Method NA here, they have the opportunity to go for the Warrior. When we've seen Method NA and Cloud9 play, it has been the few times Method NA has actually lost some series in the cups. It has been to Warrior Mage in this matchup. And it's actually evolved into the point where it was just Warrior Mage Paladin versus Warrior Mage Paladin for a long time. So they're going to stick for the Windwalker Mage. I don't know if that's because the Warrior is worse or if it's a pride thing here, but I'm happy to see this. So yeah, hook point, aggressive map. mana most likely not going to be a factor here, and it's just going to be about who lands the setups, who can get ahead in the matchup.
Could you imagine if OTK reverse swept Method NA on Windwalker Fire Mage?
They need to.
That'd
They
be
really need to.
insane. Yeah, I mean,
it would be insane. It's not going to be easy, but I feel like OTK, if they want to qualify, they need to do this. So,
yep,
like, they got to get it done. But Method NA is not going to make it easy for them. I'm sure they're not happy that they just lost that last game. They lost their perfect streak, but still, I said it at the beginning of the series. I really feel like OTK, they've gone toe-to-toe with Method NA in the past in these matchups. Maybe not winning the series, but the games are really close.
And it's likely won't be.
Yeah, they really are, as we just saw here with that last game end. We may see another one, another very close game here on Hook Point. OTK could tie this one up, but Method NA, they're going to be back for a vengeance since they lost a game on their own composition here. It's game number 4, potentially the last map of the day, Method NA versus OTK.
All right, here we go. OTK once again on match point. Let's see who pulls out ahead. Last game, it was OTK that got the first cooldown, but right now it's looking like it could be Method NA. They got a full ring of frost onto Cdew. They're going after Samiyam. He gets clapped. Big damage coming out onto Sam, but he's going to trade the alter time there, and he's going to use that Night Flame mobility as well. And now here comes Samiyam with the ring of frost. He gets interrupted on the Aura Master there by the Ring of Peace. Ceralium taking a lot of damage here. Samiyam with a full value combustion because of that kleptomania earlier that Ceralium used during his setup. Brain still in crowd control. Dragon's Breath coming out now onto Brain, but Ceralium looks like he's going to be able to hang on here. Brain forced to trade his sacrifice though, so once again, OTK here getting themselves a cooldown lead in the opening stage of the game.
All right, let's see if they can maintain it here. Cdew's mana management has been excellent throughout the series. I feel like he's actually been ahead on mana a lot of the time, so perhaps if OTK can just outlive Method NA, they could win off that. Big damage coming in. Cdew gonna try and stabilize with that sacrifice, catching out some big heals. A fair trade for the Zwen and combustion of Method NA. Now Zwen's still available for Trill. He's waiting for his moment. He's baited out Dragon's Breath. He's likely getting polymorphed. Although he's behind the pillar, he's never getting out of that polymorph. Cdew's nowhere near him. He's actually in a paralyzed. Samus in trouble right now. He's on the run. Brain moves in for a blinding light. Trill is way far out of the fight, trying to portal back into the fight at least. But now Sam gets blasted. Stun on Cdew, still on match point for OTK. What are they going to trade here? Ring of Peace bouncing him back into the fight. They proc the Cauterize. And Method NA battle back. OTK trying to keep in it from behind.
Yeah, Drake throwing in some Vivifies, trying to just stabilize Ceralium during the setup here of OTK, but I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. They get the Ice Block. That's almost preferred over the Cauterize, so OTK, they battle it back, but that was Cdew using his Trinket. That was Samiyam no longer having that cheat death effect, and Ceralium at the same time is going to be trading out this Ice Block, so still pretty even for both these teams. Mana pretty even as both these teams go back and forth. At about 2 minutes into the game, Cdew trying to create some space. He's pulling away. I don't know if he wants to go for a drink or just have kind of a defensive posture for Samiyam to be able to retreat to. But it looks like Ceralium will bait Trill behind the pillar once again, going for a polymorph, gets dispelled into another polymorph. It's that endless crowd control behind the pillar is kind of the specialty of Ceralium in these matchups. Drake getting caught into a polymorph. Samiyam doing a good job kind of denying. I don't know if Cdew's going down for a drink right now. He might be. If he can drink and recover his mana, that's going to put their team in a really good spot.
It doesn't look like he was able to get any mana. Brain's still going to have that mana lead. Ceralium here with a Blessing of Protection. Samiyam, what are you going to do about this one? He gets caught up in the leg sweep. Cdew forced to trade out the Divine Shield. It might not be enough. Ice Block as well here. Divine Shield and Ice Block, the two most important defensives here, the longest cooldown defensives on the side of OTK have been forced, and they get a full sheep onto Cdew. If Ceralium can get another sheep here, it could just be game over. He trinkets out, he blinks, he gets paralyzed on the sheep. Nicely done by Trill. Now Brain in a polymorph as well. Trill in a Dragon's Breath. Ceralium trying to make some distance here between him and Trill. There's the Fist of Fury, there's the damage, but that was the alter time of Ceralium once again expertly used there, buying himself a lot of time. Shifting power coming out though, he's taking a lot of damage. There's the Dragon's Breath onto Brain on that Divine Favor. Here comes the Ring of Peace on that Divine Favor as well. Brain now going for the Divine Favor. Can he get it off? No, he gets blinded on it. Cdew though in a polymorph. Ceralium doing a phenomenal job kiting here. He gets the Ring of Frost as well, putting himself in a 3 versus 1 situation. Samiyam though with the Alter Time here, potentially going back.
That's it!
He doesn't go back in time. Instead, he just tanks a big fat Rising Sun kick to the head. And Drake, look at that smile. So happy to send him back out from this game.
You can see the frustration on Cdew's face. It's a tough place to be in. Method NA taking that victory 3-1. But I mean, OTK, they did take off one game from Method NA, which hasn't happened yet in the circuit. But at this point right now, with their current record on the side of OTK, it's going to be very difficult for them to get up to that top 4 spot, if possible at all. But let's take a look at that replay from that last game and take a look at how it all went down.
So here, just pay attention to Ceralium here. He's in a situation where your whole team is getting crowd control. He just drops the Alter Time. Here, Brain is out of crowd control. He's feeling safe, using the shifting power after he gets locked. He drops kind of low, so he's going back into kiting mode. And now here, Brain gets stopped on his Divine Favor Holy Light, and there he gets blinded on it as well. Ceralium blinks the blind, lands a sheep onto Cdew. Dragon's Breath's Trill lands a ring onto Trill, and he was just in a situation where he was getting deleted, but instead he turns it all around with that crowd control. Samiyam there in Alter Time, but he wants to drop kind of to 10% or so and then go back in time the way Ceralium did, but not able to do it. That Rising Sun kick just doing so much damage with that Serenity build, and instead he gets procced into a seed, into an Easter egg, and gets popped.